Boxing truth here. These Errol Spence fanboys are hilarious. Been watching some videos. Been shaking my head at some of these videos. Some of the statements, some of the comments about my last video on this topic. These fuckboys are absolutely proud of the ducking and dodging of Errol Spence. Ducking the Miguel Cotto fight, given a really good opportunity, even a chance to build a name for himself, add a nice name on his resume, if he could win the fight, of course. But the fanboys of Errol Spence are absolutely proud that he ducked Miguel Cotto, all because they didn't want him to fuck with Oscar De La Hoya. They didn't want him to leave out Heyman. And that's fine. I can understand why Heyman said nah for Errol Spence. He doesn't want him to sign with a promoter. He's one of the valuable pieces on his chessboard. So it's understandable on their side why they turned it down. Oscar's trying to sign it to a long-term deal. That was most likely the offer on the table. You get a fight with a Hall of Famer. You get some recognition. I'll promote you. I'll bring you HBO boxing, and I'll bring you a Canelo Alvarez fight down the line. Make you a big star if you can win these fights. That was the plan. That was the vision of Oscar, to make him to the next Sugar Ray Leonard, jumping divisions from welterweight to junior middleweight to the middleweight division, and challenging the monster at middleweight. And perhaps if he wins those fights, he becomes the next American star. Oscar's prophecy would have been fulfilled as the next Sugar Ray Leonard if he could have won those fights. But that vision was turned down by Errol Spence Jr. or Errol Spence team. They'd rather do what they're doing, which is progressing very slowly, taking years to get a title shot, fighting on undercards, having to travel to get a strap, still not receiving any seven-figure paydays as of yet. Not that has been reported. Fighting the Lamont Petersons in the world and waiting a year and a half to fight Keith Thurman, which is not even a pay-per-view fight right now. So that's Heyman's vision, and that's the vision that the Spence fanboys want. They want him to stay on the Heyman side. They want him to fight along with a PBC banner. And they want the Thurman fight. And, I get that. That's understandable. I want to see him fight Thurman too. But in the meantime, instead of doing a Lamont Peterson fight, which is not even a mandatory, Spence is in the voluntary stage. He can take any fight he wants. He can request to move up in weight and fight a future Hall of Famer. I mean, you guys can't deny that this fight does nothing for him. I mean, it does a lot for him. It can change his career in a multitude of ways. It can make him a bigger name. It can make him a bigger star. It can get him more recognition. He'll get a strap at a new weight class. He'll have a big name on his resume, all if he wins the fight. And opportunities for even bigger fights down the road if he was to win the fight. So you can't say this fight does nothing for him. What the fuck does Lamont Peterson fight do for Errol Spence? It's just another okay title defense. Does nothing for his career. It's not going to progress him. It's not going to make him any bigger than what he is now. This Cotto fight is a game changer. And yeah, he has to sign with Oscar, but so the fuck what? Oscar could make him to a star. He's got a vision. He's got a plan. What's Heyman's plan? He can offer him other fights as well. And who's to say that the fight with Thurman is not possible had Errol Spence taken this route? Oscar's been willing to work with other promoters. The track record is there. He's worked with K2. He's worked with Frank Warren. He's worked with Bob Arum. He's worked with Star Boxing. So doesn't mean he can't work with Heyman to make a unification fight with Thurman down the road. It's like Spence could have just moved up in weight for one fight, picked up a WO strap, a good payday in the process, good exposure, a main event headline, and a chance to end and topple a future Hall of Famer, Miguel Cotto. How does that not do wonders for your career? Instead of waiting for Keith Thurman, which is not even the biggest fight out there for him that he could have gotten. But the fanboys want him to stay with Heyman. That's fine. You can stay with Heyman. Understandable. But don't say that this wouldn't have done nothing for his career. And who's to say he could just steamroll Miguel Cotto? You don't know that. Miguel Cotto is a very experienced fighter. He's the bigger fighter. He's been in with much better opposition. He still has some left. Who's to say that he can't sun Errol Spence at this stage? I mean, Errol Spence ain't no Canelo Alvarez. He don't got that elite defensive skill level. He's not as complete fighter as Canelo. He's not as big as Canelo. Much more hittable than Canelo. Who's to say that Errol Spence could just move up in weight and steamroll Miguel Cotto with ease? I would see it as a very interesting fight. Close to 50-50. Maybe Spence a slight favorite because he's a little fresher, a lot fresher, younger, and hungrier. So I would favor him slightly in that matchup, but it's a good fight. Would have liked to have seen it. Would have been a serious fight for Cotto at this stage, but maybe he had enough left in the tank to sun Errol Spence at this stage of his career in his farewell fight. But unfortunately, we'll never get to know. Errol Spence decided, or his team decided, to turn the fight down and stay where he's been at, which is a belt holder that is still seeking the recognition and popularity of other champions out there. Would have been an offer worth considering for Errol Spence. Having a named fighter on your resume like Miguel Cotto, a Hall of Famer, going back down in weight, unifying, then eventually challenging Canelo Alvarez at middleweight. Sounds like a great vision plan to me, but it's not going to come to fruition. It's not going to happen. And you fanboys are all proud of it, that he turned down the Miguel Cotto fight. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.